Imagine a world where the most profound decisions about human progress, about global information, about the very future of our societies, are not made in parliaments or by elected officials, but in private boardrooms by a handful of individuals. Welcome to the new Gilded Age, an era where unprecedented wealth and influence concentrate in the hands of a select few, reshaping our planet with breathtaking speed and scale. It's a period eerily, strikingly reminiscent of another transformational epoch over a century ago, when industrial titans forged vast empires and, in doing so, irrevocably shaped the destiny of nations. But this time, the stakes are undeniably higher, the tools of power more sophisticated, and the reach truly global, touching every corner of our existence. Cast your mind back to the late 19th century. Names like Carnegie, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, and J.P. Morgan didn't just signify immense wealth, they represented power so vast it often dwarfed governmental authority. They were the architects of an age defined by steam, steel, and oil. Carnegie controlled the steel that built America's cities. Rockefeller monopolized the oil that fueled its industry. Morgan financed entire national endeavors. Their fortunes were astronomical, their political leverage immense, and their impact on society profound, though often controversial. They were the original Gilded Age magnates, building an infrastructure that powered a nation. Today, we stand at the precipice of an even more profound revolution, powered not by the raw materials of the earth, but by the ethereal currents of code, data, and artificial intelligence. The titans of this age, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and a burgeoning cohort of visionary disruptors, command fortunes that make their Gilded Age predecessors seem almost modest. Their corporate empires are not confined by national borders. They are global networks, digital ecosystems that touch every facet of our modern lives, from how we communicate, to how we shop, to how we perceive reality itself. This isn't just a shift in industry, it's a fundamental reordering of power. So, how do these modern-day emperors truly wield such disproportionate power? Their influence emanates from three interconnected pillars. First, and arguably most critically, is their control over information and communication. Platforms like Meta's Facebook and Instagram and Elon Musk's X, formerly Twitter, are no longer just social networks. They are the new global public squares, dictating what billions see, read, and believe. Their algorithms act as gatekeepers, capable of amplifying certain narratives, shaping public discourse, and even subtly influencing political outcomes. The power to curate reality, to distribute or suppress content, is a form of soft power that can be more potent than military might. They are not merely conduits, they are editors of our collective consciousness. Second is their capacity to amass and deploy unfathomable wealth and corporate scale. Companies like Amazon are not just online retailers, they are global logistics behemoths, cloud computing giants. AWS powers much of the internet, and increasingly, a force in space exploration. Tesla revolutionizes transportation and energy. Neuralink promises to merge human and machine, venturing into the very essence of consciousness. These ventures transcend mere profit. They represent ambitions to fundamentally re-engineer human society, to colonize new frontiers, and to dictate the very infrastructure of our future. Their vast capital allows them to invest in speculative, transformative technologies that traditional governments might deem too risky, effectively setting the agenda for humanity's next leaps. And third, their direct and indirect influence on politics and policy. These billionaires aren't just powerful lobbyists. They are often kingmakers. They fund political campaigns, influence policy debates through think tanks and media ownership, and sometimes through their private companies, directly engage in what might traditionally be considered statecraft. Elon Musk's Starlink, for example, has become a critical piece of national infrastructure in certain conflicts. Their sheer economic weight gives them a seat at the table in international discussions, often bypassing traditional diplomatic channels. They operate in a unique gray zone where corporate interests and national sovereignty frequently blur, posing complex challenges to democratic governance. The ripple effects of this new Gilded Age resonate deeply across the globe, with profound implications for established democracies, particularly here in Europe. The principle of digital sovereignty, for instance, is under constant pressure. Data, often considered a national resource, now flows across borders, predominantly controlled by non-European tech giants. This raises urgent questions about privacy, antitrust regulation, data security, and the ability of nations to protect their citizens and industries from external influence. For Europe, these tech empires present a complex challenge. How do we ensure fair competition when a single company dominates multiple sectors? How do we safeguard our democratic processes from algorithmic manipulation or foreign interference through private platforms? The balance between fostering innovation and preventing monopolistic control, between leveraging technological advancement and protecting individual liberties, has never been more delicate. Furthermore, the philanthropic efforts of these billionaires, while often lauded, also concentrate immense power. While seemingly benevolent, these initiatives can sometimes bypass democratic oversight, allowing private agendas to shape global health, education, or climate policies in ways that elected governments might not. The ability of a single individual to command resources equivalent to entire nations and to deploy them with minimal democratic accountability is a phenomenon demanding rigorous examination. The Gilded Age of the 19th century eventually sparked widespread social and political reforms. Public outcry against monopolies, unfettered power, and extreme wealth inequality led to new legislation, stronger regulations, and the birth of modern labor movements. But the mechanisms of power today are far more intricate, more distributed, and often less visible than the factories and railroads of old. The current trajectory suggests a future where our identities, our interactions, and even our cognitive processes could become increasingly intertwined with and mediated by these tech behemoths. From virtual realities that redefine social interaction to brain-computer interfaces that promise to augment human intelligence, the lines between individual, corporation, and even state are blurring. This isn't just about economic power. It's about existential power over the very definition of what it means to be human in the digital age. So, will history repeat itself? Will public awareness and democratic pressure eventually lead to a rebalancing of power? Or will the architects of this new Gilded Age continue to quietly, incrementally, and profoundly reshape our world in their own image, largely beyond the reach of traditional governance? The fundamental question isn't whether these individuals are building the future. It's whose future they are building, and at what cost to the principles of equality, accountability, and genuine democratic participation. We are all passengers on this unprecedented journey. The decisions made by a powerful few, often in the quiet, insulated corridors of technological innovation, will ultimately define the societies we inherit, the freedoms we retain, and the kind of world our children will inhabit. The silence of their growing power is perhaps the loudest warning of all.